Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studio in Cumming, Georgia, it's time for Forsyth Business Radio.
And welcome back, friends, to another exciting episode of Forsyth Business Radio. I am your host, Amanda Pierce, and I am joined in studio today by two really cool people. I'd like to introduce our guests, Ty Keller and also Isa Galindo. Okay, well, I'm excited for you guys to share the great work you're doing here in our community in the surrounding areas. Ty is a returning friend to the show, and I'm excited to hear what's going on in his world now because there have been some changes. But if I may, I would love for our first-time guest, Isa, to tell us a little bit about Astro Celebrations, located here in Cumming, Georgia.
It is. Well, I love to tell people is that we are like 5-6 venues in one because we have so much going on. A lot of people that come here, they're obviously from Forsyth County, so they kind of recognize that it's an old Ace Hardware building that was gutted, and it kind of just became Astro Celebrations. So as you walk in, there's this beautiful lobby. It's state of the art. Everything's beautifully done. It's very well finished. We have patios. We actually have 2 patios. We have a garden where we do most of our wedding ceremonies and stuff like that. And then we have a ballroom that actually can seat 800 people without a dance floor, but it can also be sectioned off into 3 sections. We also use it a lot for corporate events. Like we have many customizable aspects of it, so we can change the coloring of all of our lighting on there. We can just play around with all of our technology. We have LED walls as well. We do presentations. We have 2 projectors as well. We have all of our audio visual. And then upstairs, we have a small conference room that sits up to 40 people. So it's like a lot that you can play around with. You can section it off if you want just 100 people in your business meeting, but also if you want like a big event, such as a wedding of 500 people. Wow. So it's a lot to play with.
Flexible space for sure.
Yeah.
Ty, have you ever been inside of Astro Celebrations?
No, I haven't yet. No? This is the first I've heard of it. Yeah.
Well, I have attended a couple chamber events there, and we did some live broadcasts. Right. Kunal was able to join us on one of those, and you guys had it set up differently for each event. So right. I witnessed that flexibility. And I didn't know there was an upstairs space.
There is. It's very small. We rarely use it. They use it a lot for preparations and things like that. But we are able to move a lot of our furniture upstairs if we have to. So we have our round tables that we can set it off for people to do meetings, or if they want to do a conference call, we can do kind of like a triangle, table setting.
Oh, yes. Okay, so it holds 800 people. It's customizable. There's upstairs. We've been there for meetings. Exciting news. You are the corporate events sales manager, and we're going to come back to that here in just a moment, Isa.
Thank you.
I'm going to bring Ty into the conversation and have him give us an update as to what has been going on with you.
Yeah, I've been busy. So last time I was on your show, I can't remember. It's been maybe half a year ago. But so I'm a mortgage officer, have been for a long time, and I don't know if people know the difference between a retail mortgage officer, a banker, and a broker. So basically made the big jump to be a broker about a month ago. And it's been good. It's a lot more control I feel like I have. We were talking earlier, like I just feel like the pricing is better. It's better for my clients. It's better for me. So big change, not the best time of year to do a change like this because springtime is a busy season, but there's never a good time to do anything. You just have to pull the plug and go, I guess.
It's, what is it? We grow during the uncomfortable times. Is that the old adage?
You've got some great lenders out there. You got big lenders like Cross Country, Rocket Mortgage, Quicken Loans, Loan Depot, any bank like Wells Fargo. All those lenders are on the retail side. And so there's nothing against those guys. They do mortgages, and a lot of times that's all they do. If you're a bank, maybe you do mortgages, but you do accounts and commercial loans and everything. So there's varying degrees of specialization in mortgages. Well, when you're a mortgage broker, that's really all you do. You go help clients, you go help them find a mortgage, you go find the right lender for them, the right program. And then on the broker side, I don't have all that overhead, right? So I don't have all the operations. I don't have an operations team, a marketing team that I got to pay. It's me and it's the lender. So your broker's going to charge a fee to go find that loan, but a lot of times you're getting that. So you're getting a wholesale loan. There's just benefits on the pricing side for a client when you're going the wholesale route, finding a broker. And for years, people would ask me, are you a mortgage broker? And I'd say, no, I'm actually a retail lender, and said it proudly and, sold it, and it was great. But I've realized they were asking, like, are you a broker? Because I want to know, can you get me the best deal? And so that's what I've kind of come to find out. I really feel like on the brokerage side, technology's caught up in a way to where the broker has a ton of control, a lot of accountability to the process, and can close quickly or even quicker than on the retail side. So yeah, I'm loving it. It's fun.
Very cool. Well, I noticed some really snazzy, visual effects online. I saw your rebrand. So I do just want to go ahead and plug you at tyclosesloans.com.
Appreciate it.
Check them out on social, and also shoot them an email if you're looking to purchase a new home.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Isa, I am very curious to flip-flop again.
Okay.
Being in the world of corporate event sales, what is your background and how did you become passionate about this industry?
Actually, I grew up in the hospitality industry since I was probably 5 years old. And I'm actually from a small little island called Roatan in Honduras. Yeah, so it's very touristic. I would say we kind of sometimes have like 8 cruise ships a day. So it's kind of the lifestyle down there. But I always found myself planning things such as events, and never really corporate events. It's more of a destination wedding kind of place. So then I came here and I just, I built my career off of that. So I went to Johnson & Wales. And then I decided to start getting into corporate events once I was in school. I was an international student, so it's a bit hard to kind of get, a full set-on job. So I had to intern everywhere I could. And that's kind of where I developed my passion for corporate events. I think it's a great industry. I think there's a lot of, I would say, money in it as well, in the sense of people have budgets for corporate events. So it's very kind of easy to manage that. And then I worked at Georgia State. I did events for their students there. And then after that, I went to a small business called Vino Venue. I did more of their team building, client appreciation kind of events. And they kind of center everything around wine. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where I was able to manage celebrations and corporate events at the same time. And then Astro came along and I was like, okay, this is perfect. So that's why I'm there now.
You sound like quite the find in that world. Did they scout you? Did they see your LinkedIn profile and say, we got to have her? Or was it just by happen chance that you guys connected?
It was by chance. Well, of course I applied to these jobs, but I guess I interview well or something. I speak both English and Spanish, which is something that they were looking for as well. Nice. Yeah. So being bilingual definitely helped me get those jobs.
I'd say being bilingual will help you do a variety of things in life.
For sure.
And that's fantastic. Do just share, because we live in a very diverse area here in Forsyth County, and it's kind of a melting pot. How often are you able to put your bilingual skill set?
Pretty often, especially at Astro. A lot of our employees are bilingual as well. So it comes in handy, especially, working in the event industry, you always have to find people to help you just with your business alone. So just being able to speak Spanish really eases a lot of that pain.
I'll say.
Yeah.
So you said you're originally from Honduras. Is your family here, or do you still go visit Honduras?
Well, we're in both places. My family has businesses here as well, in Florida actually. So they come once a month or every other month. So I see them pretty often. They just fly over here and see me.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And how did you find coming? Did I miss that part when you said you were working at Georgia State, which kudos. That's cool.
Yeah, thank you.
And then down to Vino Venue. And is that here in Cumming? And I just didn't know.
It's in Dunwoody. I actually live in Alpharetta, so I'm in between Cumming and, Dunwoody. Yeah. But I ended up here because I never heard of Astro before. Astro is actually fairly new. It's only been open for about a year and 6 months. Yeah. But I saw them online and I applied, and as soon as I applied, they called me within 5 minutes. Nice. So it was a 20-minute commute for me, and I was like, jackpot, and that's how I came here. Yep.
Well, I know that there are many beautiful venues in your future. So good luck to you as you continue to sell. Who are some clients that you look to connect with that could host events there? Ty is here in the world of mortgage. We've all been to those Christmas parties, So who do you look to connect with that might want to have an event there?
We actually have a pretty wide range for that. We're looking for schools, anything like prom, graduation. We're willing to do that. Bankers as well. We can work a lot with client appreciation or even employee appreciation. They do a lot of team building activities too, like trust building activities. I would say we do want conferences as well. Our space is a little bit small for conferences, but we can do exhibitions like art. The art industry would be something that we're looking forward to as well.
Well, now that it's warming up, I'll have to come back and take a look at your garden area, because it was just like winter last time I was there. So,
and we just fixed it. The grass is beautiful. All the flowers are blooming and everything, so it looks great right now.
Exciting. Yeah. Thank you, Isa. Ty, bringing you back in.
Going back to terrible timing, I've told you this before, but I always joke that I started in the mortgage business and in banking in January of 2008, just like the worst possible time. So that's when I got started. I got started working for a portfolio bank out in Colorado. I was doing all sorts of things, doing commercial lending, managing branches, doing mortgage lending. And then for about 8 years of that, I said I need to change. And so I went into treasury management role, which was basically standing up a treasury management division of the bank. Did that, moved out here in 2020 at the outset of the pandemic. Back to timing again. That's ended up being a good thing. Then slimmed everything down and just got back into mortgage lending. And so that's what I've been doing out here in Atlanta and North Georgia for the past 4 years. So, and then this opportunity came up, and so I'm ready to go. It's fun.
What would you say is the most rewarding part of what you do?
Yeah, so if there's ever, I notice this sometimes when there's like a challenge with the loan, right? So something might come up where maybe a borrower didn't tell you everything, or, maybe there's a surprise with the condition of a property or whatever it may be. I notice that whenever there's something that's challenging to get done, I notice I'm not really thinking about, oh, darn, this deal may fall through and I might not get paid on this loan. I never think of that. My first reaction, I always just notice this is, well, what's going to happen for my client, right? So it's, and I think most mortgage officers and lenders feel this way, right? So you care so much about your clients. They're trying to buy a house or they're trying to refinance. There's a big transaction that they're trying to do, and you're the one that's required to, be their advocate and help them. And so I really just like having some deep smarts on something that can really help people in their lives. And I didn't really realize that until a few years of doing it. Like, this is actually pretty cool. Like, you can help people.
I'd say that's a great testimony there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you deal with some interesting and challenging client situations as well. I would love for you to share a personal win with Astro, like one of the best executed events here, I guess maybe this year, if that's qualifier, and then a challenge that you've overcome in your industry as a whole, because I'm sure you have some exciting stories.
Yeah, so I'm fairly new at Astro. I've been there for 2 months, so I can't really speak on Astro. But I think one of the most challenging things in my industry would be depending on so many people to execute an event. I'm just the manager or the planner, but I have to depend on caterers, I have to depend on audiovisual, I have to depend on everybody else to kind of do the job on time. So that's definitely something that I had to learn the rough way at the beginning. I was very trusting, I would say. I was just like, oh yeah, they're going to show up on time, or yeah, they're going to do their job. So I kind of had to learn how to be a leader in that sense. There's definitely some work that I had to do there, like coming up with checklists for everybody, staying on top of everybody all the time. I hate having to micromanage people, but sometimes it's necessary, because I cannot come to the client and say like, oh, I didn't want to micromanage anybody, so that's why nothing worked out today. I don't want to be that person. So yeah, it's definitely, I had to kind of take a few personal lessons for me to just become who I am now in the industry.
I'm sure your team, well, I've witnessed it when we had one of the Hallmark events for the chamber. There was at least 250 people there, and you were running the room. Your team was doing everything they needed. As don't tell Jesse, but I think there was an AV issue there. But nobody really recognized, because everyone's teams were doing such a great job.
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear you say that, because I was by myself for like 20 minutes at that time, and we found out the issue was that the computer was on sleep mode. It wasn't even our cables or anything, and we were trying to disconnect everything. I'm glad you guys weren't able to see everything.
I didn't notice anything, but I saw you, because you and I were trying to find each other, and I was like, you know what? I was like, this is amazing. It's like the calm before the storm, but the storm didn't occur. Nobody felt it.
Right.
Talking about team, a common theme of team. Ty, I'm sure there have been situations maybe with your children in sports, or that you've been a leader of a team, and same with you, Isa. I'm curious, what are some qualities that make up a good leader in your eyes? Either one of you.
Okay, yeah. I just kind of go into my personal life right now, and people that I recognize as leaders, what I see them do is just share information, and not be about their reputation or who they are or how people view them. Just, you can tell the attitude that somebody has if they're a good leader, if they're just about helping other people, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer. I think for me, it's listening to your peers, not just thinking that because you're the leader, you have the right mindset or you're right all the time. A lot of the time I found that people that work around me or with me usually have the right answer because they work on the floor, versus me, I'm kind of like back of the house. So it's very important to listen to them. They definitely have strategies and techniques that work better most of the time.
I admire that, yes. Oftentimes there are some very smart people just seated around us. Well, you guys, as we're rounding the end of our segment, I do want to give you a chance to share how our listeners can find you personally or your organizations. And I do want to circle back around to Brews with Bros before we say adios. Mm-hmm. So Ty, I already dropped your tagline there, but you go ahead and say it for the listeners.
Yeah, so my new website is tyclosesloans.com. Check out my new website. We got it stood up. It's pretty cool. You can find my phone number, my email there. Just remember tyclosesloans.com. I'm based here in Cumming, Georgia, and can help you anywhere in the United States.
Isa?
For us, it's astrocelebrations.com. We advise you to just submit an inquiry for you to come in and tour our space. We want you to kind of just see the whole thing and take it all in. We do customizable pricing, and we also focus a lot on just building your event with you. So it's definitely something that will help when you're in person here with us. My email is isa@astrocelebrations.com. And for any of our lucky listeners, we're actually dropping a 25% off if you book with us for the next month. Any kind of event, it could be for the entire year or throughout the year.
En español también.
Todos los que nos están escuchando hoy, tenemos un 25% de descuento para que ustedes puedan book un evento con nosotros y puede servir para el resto del año. Gracias.
Love it. I'm going to be giving you a call to talk more about your bilingual abilities.
Awesome.
I'm so excited that you guys were able to join us. I would be remiss if I didn't share a group that I'm enthusiastic about with Brews with Bros. And Ty, take it from here.
Usually goes for a couple hours. People stay for a long time. But I guess, when you set out to do something like this, you really don't know how it's going to turn out or what it's going to become. But what it really has become is a way for people to just connect and a place for people to expect to go to and make some new connections. So
my favorite part is it's not crunchy. There's no limit tickets or entry fees. Come as you are and come when you can. So that's one of my favorite things. Yep. So hopefully we'll see you guys there. And because I'm at the helm of the podcasting ship, please do subscribe to the Brews with Bros podcast by Forsyth Business Radio X. For our guests today, Ty Keller and Isa Galindo, I'm your host, Amanda Pierce, and we'll catch you next time on Forsyth Business Radio.